What if the shortest line on a map is actually the most expensive way to move across the ocean? Because cargo ships almost never take it, even when it looks like the obvious choice. And the real reason has nothing to do with distance alone. Every single day, massive cargo ships cross the oceans carrying the backbone of modern life. Phones, clothes, food, cars, fuel, machinery. Almost everything you use has spent time on a ship at some point in its journey. Now, if you open a live ship tracking map, something immediately stands out. Ships don't move in straight lines. They curve across oceans, sometimes in wide arcs, sometimes in strange detours that don't seem logical at first glance. If you didn't know better, you might think something is wrong, like they are wasting time or lost. But in reality, these routes are carefully planned down to the smallest detail. Because shipping is not just about getting from point A to point B, it is about surviving the ocean in the cheapest and safest way possible. So the real question becomes this: why don't cargo ships take the shortest route? The answer is not one thing. It is a combination of geography, physics, economics, politics, and global systems working together in the background. And once you understand it, you realize the ocean is not empty space. It is one of the most complex transportation networks on Earth. And here's the first surprising truth. In many cases, taking a longer route can reduce costs so much that a company saves millions of dollars on a single journey. The first mistake most people make is trusting flat maps. On a flat map, the shortest distance between 2 points looks like a straight line. But the Earth is not flat, it is a sphere. And on a sphere, the shortest path is not what your eyes expect. It is called a Great Circle route. This means the actual shortest path between 2 ports often looks curved when drawn on a flat map. So sometimes what looks longer is actually shorter in real-world distance. But even that is just the beginning of the story. Because distance is not the only thing ships care about. In fact, in modern shipping, distance is often one of the least important factors. What matters more is resistance, risk, fuel efficiency, and timing. To the human eye, the ocean looks wide open, no roads, no walls, no restrictions. But in reality, the ocean is carefully structured. Global shipping follows invisible highways called shipping lanes. These lanes exist because the sea is not random. It is organized for safety and efficiency. Ships use these lanes to avoid shallow waters that can damage hulls, restricted military zones, protected marine environments, underwater hazards, and high-traffic collision zones. Even a small mistake in navigation can lead to massive consequences. So instead of freedom, ships operate under a system of global coordination. And that already forces many routes to bend away from the shortest line. But even if shipping lanes didn't exist, ships would still avoid straight routes, because the ocean itself is constantly moving against them. The ocean is not stable. It is alive with movement. Storm systems form, shift, and disappear constantly. Winds change direction, waves grow and collapse. Currents shift strength depending on seasons. For a cargo ship, this creates a major problem. Even moderate weather can massively increase fuel consumption. When a ship faces strong waves or headwinds, the engines must work harder. That means more fuel burns slower movement, higher operational cost, and increased mechanical stress. So captains constantly reroute around dangerous weather systems like cyclones in the Indian Ocean, monsoon systems in South Asia, hurricanes in the Atlantic iceberg, zones in polar regions, and extreme wave belts in the Southern Ocean. A shorter route through unstable weather is almost always more expensive than a longer route through calm waters, because in shipping, fuel is everything. Now here's where things become interesting. The ocean is not just resistance, it is also assistance. There are powerful ocean currents that act like moving conveyor belts across the planet. Ships actively use these currents to save fuel and time. For example, the Gulf Stream in the Atlantic can significantly increase speed. The Kuroshio current in the Pacific helps vessels move faster with less resistance. Seasonal wind patterns in certain regions reduce engine load dramatically. So instead of fighting water resistance, ships try to align with it. This creates a major shift in route planning. A longer curved route that matches a strong current can actually be faster and cheaper than a direct straight path. So now, shortest distance becomes irrelevant. What matters is energy efficiency, but nature is only one part of the equation. Because the biggest risks in shipping are not natural. They are human. Certain parts of the ocean are known high-risk zones, not because of geography, but because of human activity. These include piracy-prone waters, politically unstable regions, illegal trafficking routes, conflict-adjacent maritime zones. Even today, ships sometimes avoid entire regions, just for safety, because one incident can lead to loss of cargo worth millions ransom or hostage situations, insurance escalation, legal complications, and long-term operational disruption. So shipping companies prioritize safety over speed every time. A safer, longer route is always better than a risky, shorter one. Most people don't realize this, but insurance companies heavily influence shipping routes. If a route is labeled high risk, insurance premiums rise, sometimes dramatically. This changes everything, because now a short route is no longer just about distance. It becomes about cost per kilometer. If a shorter path increases insurance risk, it becomes more expensive overall. So companies adjust routes to balance insurance cost, safety rating, and operational risk. In some cases, a longer safe route is significantly cheaper than a shorter risky one. So economics overrides geography. Now imagine the ocean not as empty space, but as a global traffic network. Thousands of ships are constantly moving toward ports, but ports have limited capacity. They can only handle a certain number of ships at once. So what happens? Ships form invisible queues. They wait offshore until docking space becomes available. Unloading equipment is ready, labor schedules align, customs clearance is prepared. This creates a global timing system, so arrival time becomes more important than travel distance. A ship that arrives too early may just sit idle for days. That means shipping routes are often designed not just for distance, but for perfect timing. Sometimes a longer route is chosen, so a ship arrives exactly when the port is ready. At the core of everything is one rule. Shipping is not about speed, it is about cost efficiency per unit of cargo. A single large cargo ship burns enormous amounts of fuel every hour, so companies constantly optimize engine speed, fuel consumption rates, weather conditions, and ocean resistance. Sometimes ships even slow down intentionally, a practice called slow steaming, just to save fuel costs. Because arriving earlier does not matter if it increases costs significantly. The entire system is built around minimizing expense, not maximizing speed. And when you combine all of this together, a clear pattern emerges. The ocean is not a simple route from one point to another. It is a constantly changing system where weather, geography, economics, and global coordination all overlap. So the next time you see a cargo ship moving slowly across the ocean in a strange curved path, it is not lost. It is not inefficient. It is following a carefully calculated global strategy designed for safety, timing, and cost optimization. Because at sea, the shortest route is rarely the smartest one. And in global shipping, smart always beats short.